It's Daytona. The Daytona International Speedway, which is getting ready to have 42 drivers racing on the track to win the 56th Annual Daytona 500. 47 cars showed up to make the race, but only 42 made the race. We have 30 laps of racing to see which driver will be taking home perhaps the biggest trophy of the season. The most historic race in all of motorsports, the Daytona 500. Starting on the front row are the two guys who were the fastest on pole day, Jamie McMurray in the number 1 and the number 3. We're going to have the number 3 back in the NASCAR Spring Cup Series, which will be driven by Austin Dillon. 5 drivers did not make the field for today's race at Daytona: Landon Castle, Brian Keselowski, Josh Wise, Jeff Green, and Tony Raines. Now we're going to sit down track side and get you the most famous words in all of motorsports. As the drivers will fire up their engines, and getting the final words of advice from the crew chiefs, the spotters. Let's take you to the starting grid for today's Daytona 500. Row 1, the number 1 of Jamie McMurray and the number 3 of Austin Dillon. Row 2, Brad Keselowski and Michael Waltrip. Row 3 is Kevin Harvick and Marcus Ambrose. Row 4, Jeff Gordon and Ryan Newman. Row 5, Kurt Busch and Matt Kenseth. Row 6 is Casey Mears and Paul Menard. Row 7, Joey Logano and Dale Jr. Row 8 is Kyle Larson and David Reagan. Row 9, J.J. Yeley and Cole Witt. And running out the top 20 is Casey Kane and Greg Biffle. Row 11, Danica Patrick and David Ritterman. Row 12, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Justin Allgaier. Row 13, Brian Vickers and Eric Almirola. Row 14, Michael Annett and AJ Allmendinger. Row 15, Michael McDowell and Kyle Busch. Row 16, Martin Truex and Carl Edwards. Row 17, Joe Nemechek and Clint Bowyer. Row 18, Jimmy Johnson and Brian Scott. Row 19, Tony Stewart and David Gilliland. Row 20 is Terry Labonte and Trevor Bayne. And row 21, Denny Hamlin and Bobby Labonte. Bobby Labonte, Denny Hamlin, Trevor Bayne, the 3 who got to go to backup cars. They will start in the back as the pace car will take the hard left turn into pit road. The 2014 NASCAR Sprint Cup Series season is green. As they come off turn 2 down the back, so it's McMurray with the lead. Keselowski now looks to the inside of Austin Dillon, getting a push from Kevin Harvick to get to the left rear corner pin on McMurray for the lead. And on the inside, it's the 2 guys who was 1 and 2 in Gatorade duel number 1, Brad Keselowski and Kevin Harvick. As Austin Dillon goes to the middle, Harvick to the bottom, McMurray to the top. Kevin Harvick looks to the inside. Now he's going to be pushed to the middle by Jeff Gordon, who looks to the inside. And he has help from one of the fastest guys here, the 41 of Kurt Busch. And how about that little guy, that 13 car on the inside, Casey Mears, getting pushed by Joey Logano, Kyle Larson, and we got Keselowski in the wall. Look out, Keselowski's in the wall. This will cause trouble. Paul Menard, the 4-wide Stenhouse on the apron, trying to give teammate Biffle room, and Stenhouse is still on the apron. It looks like he's going to be able to merge back up to the pack, safe and sound. We got one car that kind of lost the pack. That's the 31 of Ryan Newman. It's like Newman must have scraped the wall and he's fallen all the way back to 42nd. Now we got a battle for the lead. Kurt Busch and Jeff Gordon, 2 former champions. And look at Marcus Ambrose in the 9. Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 88. Last night's pole winner, Kyle Larson. And we got Kenseth in the wall. A lot of guys are scraping the wall. We saw Keselowski fall back to 17th, so somewhere in there. Now Kenseth is in the wall. Looks like he'll get right in front of David Reagan, but he'll move high. Kyle Busch and Brian Vickers has to really check up so they don't run into each other. Austin Dillon, Joey Logano trying to get the outside line going, the middle lane. He's pretty much the outside down the back stretch, and Gordon is really hanging on. He has McMurray pushing him. Ambrose is not close enough to the 41 of Kurt Busch. Now Junior behind the 41. Got guys scraping the wall everywhere. That time it was Joey Logano. And then as they continue to be side by side, door to door, Jeff Gordon, Kurt Busch. Gordon leads that lap at the line, but Kurt Busch has Junior now pushing him. And the pack's gone and got separated from the 4 wide Casey Mears. Marcus Ambrose crashed in the back. Cole Witt's involved. Brad Keselowski, it's a huge crash. Oh man, the 21 of Trevor Baynes flipping. Kevin Harvick, Terry Labonte, Denny Hamlin, Clint Bowyer, Michael Waldrop. Caution is out, and we have had the big one strike on lap 5, and it's taken out many of our leaders. Keselowski, Waldrop, Harvick, 3 of our Gatorade Duel winners and runner-ups. There's Jimmy Johnson on the apron. Joe Nemechek's damage. Damage on Casey Mears, AJ Allmendinger, Gilliland, Rudelman, Logano. The leader at the line was the number 41 of Kurt Busch, as his teammate Tony Stewart was involved. There's Trevor Bayne. First race back for Smoke, and he, not the way he wants to start out his season. There's Smoke. Cole Witt, one of our Rookie of the Year contenders. Not a great start for the 30 of Cole Witt. And that 30 is done for the day, as Cole Witt has went behind the wall. So has Michael Annett and Martin Truex. So they are done for the day. There's Terry Labonte. Labonte is done as well. So let's go back and see what brought out the cost and how this all got started. The 13 of Casey Mears, the 30 of Cole Witt is where we got to look at. See, they got 4 wide with Michael Waldrop. Let's go from the helicopter. This view is gonna be real good. See, Waldrop is pushing Casey Mears entering turn 1. It looks like Michael's gonna make the mistake of going to the inside of Mears, which is certainly Waldrop's fault. There he is, and always gonna turn Cole Witt up into Mears, and there's Marcus Ambrose, nowhere to go. Greg Biffle, Jimmy Johnson, Keselowski. Oh, Harvick gets hit by David Reagan. Oh no, not David Reagan, Joey Logano. There's Bowyer getting involved. Trevor Bayne upside down after he got smashed by the 87 of Joe Nemechek. There's Ryan Newman. He lost the draft, and that pretty much saved his race right there. As Newman this is great for the 31 of Ryan Newman, as he can. This is the best that could have happened to the 31 team. Now he gets to get all caught up. Justin Allgaier, Michael McDowell. There's Michael Annett making his Cup Series debut. Ryan Scott, last night's winner in the NASCAR Nationwide Series. Looks like he might have got a little piece of it. Let's go back one more time. As guys like, Marcus Ambrose, Cole Witt, just an innocent bystander, Kevin Harvick. There he is on the outside. Let's go on board with some cars. I saw that 36 of J.J. Yelly did a pretty nice job getting through all that. Let's go on board with the 36 of J.J. Yelly. Yeah, nice driving out of the 36 of J.J. Yelly. But Mini Jarvis was not that lucky as the 21 of Trevor Bain went upside down. A lot of cars are taking their course behind the wall as they have been in this crash. Kurt Busch, Jeff Gordon, 2 leaders at Daytona, and they will take us back to the green flag when we come back to Daytona. Okay, we have about 20-some laps remaining in tonight's race at Daytona, 21 to be in fact. And many drivers have took their course behind the wall. They include Terry Labonte, Michael Annett, Denny Hamlin, Martin Truex, Trevor Bain, Clint Bowyer, David Gillen, Michael Waldrop, Kevin Harvick, Joey Logano, David Riddleman, Justin Allgaier, Cole Witt, Michael McDowell, Jimmy Johnson, and Joe Nemechek. That leaves us 26 drivers remaining in the race, and the top 3 are Kurt Busch, Jeff Gordon, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. McMurray and Larson, 2 EGR cars. They complete the top 5. Then it's Dillon, Kane, Stenhouse, Menard, and Almirola. Edwards, Patrick, Yelly, Allmendinger, Scott, Kyle Busch, Greg Biffle, Vickers, Reagan, Kenseth, Keselowski, Newman, Stewart, Labonte, Mears, and Ambrose. In the last 2 nights, the Camping World Truck Series and the NASCAR Nationwide Series, we've seen first-time winners out of Alex Bowman and Brian Scott. Could someone like Austin Dillon, Kyle Larson, Ricky Stenhouse maybe get a win? That's green flag is coming back out. Let's go back and let's go to some of those drivers who's never won a race before. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. There he is. There's Almirola, AJ Allmendinger. As Junior goes to the inside of a teammate Jeff Gordon. There's Kyle Larson, Austin Dillon. This 41 car is fast. It's going to be hard to get around that 41. We've seen how long it took for Casey Kane to get around him in the Gatorade deal. I don't even think Casey Kane was able to get around that 41 in G1. As they make their way off turn 4. Oh, Gordon goes way high. Opens up the door for teammate Casey Kane. McMurray has to open up the door for Almirola. It's a 5-car breakaway. Single file. Now Junior looks to the inside. Junior had a great car in his Gatorade duel. Almost won the race. Got passed late in the race. Like Kurt Busch. Got passed late in the race. Junior started 14th. There's Kyle Larson who started 15th. He looks to the inside. With the number 3, Austin Dillon. Pushing him through the front. Paul Menard. Casey Kane. How about that 99 of Carl Edwards? He's worked his way up in this pack. Edwards started way back in the pack. So did Kyle Busch in the 18. Brian Scott in the 29. Here's some guys who lost the draft. David Reagan, Marcus Ambrose, Stewart and Vickers, Mears, Newman, Labonte, Keselowski, Kenseth, Allmendinger, Biffle. If Patrick and Busch can get up to the pack, it will be a 15-car battle for the win. As Austin Dillon's got in the lead. Now he has Menard on the inside. RCR is side by side for the lead with Paul Menard and Austin Dillon. And look at this. We got 3 Hendrick cars, 3 wide for 3rd place. The other teammate, Jimmy Johnson, is in the wall, in the garage. Casey Kane goes up and helps Junior on the outside. Jeff Gordon behind Paul Menard. How about that 36 of J.J. Yelly? We saw him do a great job getting by that crash. Got Danica Patrick in this pack. We never see her up front. Never. Brian Scott in the 29. Kyle Larson in the 42. Austin Dillon. We have a lot of guys who can get their first career win. We can have a weekend at Daytona where we had first-time winners in all 3 series. Long way to go, though. It's the 27 of Menard out front. Paul Menard started 12th in the 27, and he had a great car in his Gatorade duel. Pair of the IC that's really been working is that 24 and the 41. And Gordon's, now that I say that, Gordon's going to move high. See if Carl Edwards can get a push from Brian Scott to get up to the 24, Jeff Gordon. Question is, will we get in lap traffic? We have plenty of time to catch David Reagan right now, who is the slowest car on track. Paul Menard doing a great job holding on, but he has hungry Kurt Busch, who has not won since 2011. Pushing them at Daytona is Almirola. How about that 43? He's now moved up into 3rd place. And there goes the 41 of Kurt Busch. Swings that 41 car to the inside. Double foul. One on the first 4 lanes. First 4 rows. Then we got a little 3 wide back in the pack of this pack. Now pole center Jamie McMurray is going to get hooked up by the 17 of Ricky Stenhouse. Old move by Almirola and Gordon. We are now past the halfway point, and Dale Jr.'s in the wall. Dale Earnhardt Jr. has got in the wall. Question is, can he stay with the pack? And Yelly gets pushed to the grass. Comes up into Casey Kane. The 4 was not going to end well. There goes Casey Kane into the grass. Yelly's going to come back up, and it's going to be trouble. It's Jeff going in the wall. There's Kane wrecking. Casey Kane, Carl Edwards. The 2 guys in this crash. There's Newman Biffle. These 2 guys, they are done. Carl Edwards and Casey Kane. As Kurt Busch, Paul Menard, and Almirola, it's your top 3. As you come off turn 4. How much damage did the 24 Jeff Gordon get? There's Yelly. There's Jeff Gordon. There's Carl Edwards smoking. Let's go back and see what brought out this cost. And it started with the 36 of J.J. Yelly and the 5 of Casey Kane making contact. And Edwards is just going to be at the wrong place at the wrong time. Actually started off turn 4. Looks like Casey Kane's going to pull a wall drop. He's going to actually try to go to the inside of Larson to make it 4 wide. Not the smart move when they're 4 wide. You just can't go 4 wide without causing some sort of crash. They almost saved it, but so Yelly and Kane are having a little bit of contact, trading paint. Then see Yelly's going to end up turning Casey Kane down into the apron, and Yelly ends up going in the grass. So Yelly comes back up the track. Casey Kane trying to give him as much room as possible, but then there's Kane going to get turned again by Yelly. And Yelly's going to come up into the 24 of Jeff Gordon. Then there's Casey Kane. Oh, man. Casey Kane. Let's go back and look at that again. I believe he even got in front of the 41 of Kurt Busch. Yeah, he was actually in the lead. Hitting a little hard, and there's Edwards just nowhere to go, and Yelly. Hard hit by the 36 of J.J. Yelly. I don't know if Yelly will be able to continue having such a great run, but Casey Kane and Carl Edwards, their day is done in a hurry. We are past the halfway point in this race. Kurt Busch, your leader, once again at Daytona. We'll take you back to the green flag when we come back. We have exactly 10 laps remaining in the 2014 Daytona 500. The 41 of Kurt Busch is your leader. Paul Menard is second. Eric Almirola, Jamie McMurray, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. all your top 5. Kyle Larson, Kyle Busch, Austin Dillon, Danica Patrick, and Brian Scott your top 10. Dale Earnhardt Jr., Ryan Newman, Greg Biffle, Casey Mears, Matt Kenseth, AJ Allmendinger, Brad Keselowski, Bobby Labonte, Tony Stewart, and Marcus Ambrose. Brian Vickers, David Reagan, Jeff Gordon. Out of the race are the 5 of Kane, the 99 of Edwards, and the 36 of Yelly. So 23 guys remaining in the race. The 29 of Brian Scott. Can he win both the NASCAR Nationwide Series and the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series race at Daytona on the same weekend? Last time it was done was with Kevin Harvick in 2007. Can Scott add his name to that list, as he's right now running 10th with a shot to win? As Kurt Busch will once again get us underway, 10 laps remaining at Daytona. Here comes the 2 Earnhardt Ganassi cars. Jamie McMurray and Kyle Larson, and Paul Menard looks to the inside. Almirola tries to block McMurray. They have too much of a run. McMurray and Larson moving tandem on the inside. Austin Dillon, Brian Scott, 2 RCR cars. They can work together. Dale Jr. has no teammates. Stenhouse could work with Almirola, 2 Fords. That would be a great pair. As Paul Menard on the inside, Kurt Busch on the outside. Pulsing to McMurray right on the back bumper of Paul Menard. There's Jeff Gordon, not really making that much headway to the front. He is faster than these guys, Keselowski and Allmendinger. As they continue to be side by side, Stenhouse almost in the wall. 8 to go from Daytona. Menard on the inside, Kurt Busch on the outside, and Kurt is trying to hang on as long as he can on the outside. I mean, if you have the right car, the right drivers, with the right partners, that you can make that outside line work. Now Austin Dillon makes a move to the inside of McMurray. That'll be 3 wide. That will put Larson on the top with Brian Scott. And Kurt Busch has been able to get the inside, and he will hold on to the lead. Menard, 2nd place with teammate Austin Dillon. And look who's joined the pack. The 31 of Ryan Newman, who lost the draft before that first crash. He's up here. He has a shot to win this race. 12 guys. Danica Patrick in the 10. She has a shot to win. Austin Dillon now goes to the inside of Paul Menard. Dale Jr. with him. McMurray with Menard. Almirola on the very top of the racetrack. He'll drop in behind the 42 of Larson. And Newman is coming with teammate Brian Scott. We have 4 RCR cars who has a shot to win this race. All 4 of them. And here comes Austin Dillon to the inside. He's getting help from the 88 of Dale Earnhardt Jr. How special would it be for NASCAR to have the number 3 in victory lane at the Daytona International Speedway? He has a whole... Look at McMurray on the outside. He had a run from the 17 of Stenhouse to give him a little push, but it looks like that's not going to go anywhere from McMurray. The dominant car of the weekend, the 41 of Kurt Busch, continues to lead. Austin Dillon right on the back bumper in 2nd place. Dillon, McMurray, Larson, Scott, Almirola, Stenhouse, Patrick. Those among the drivers who could get their first career win this weekend in the Daytona 500. They continue to be side by side. Kyle Busch in the 18. We have not seen Kyle Busch up here yet today. He's making noise late in the final laps. Three off his second place. Stenhouse trying to find his way to the outside. Can he jump in front of the 88 of Dale Jr.? Can't do it. If you're going to win this race, you got to beat that 41 car. Austin Dillon's been close, but just can't get there. Here comes Kyle Busch and Jamie McMurray on the inside. Here comes Dale Jr. He swings it low to the inside of Kurt Busch. He's on the inside. He had a lot of momentum. I think Jenny might clear him off turn 4, but Kurt's fighting back with help from Brian Scott. And Stenhouse gets into the Scott. And there goes Kyle Busch and Brian Scott. Austin Dillon's in the grass. And there goes Scott. Is a caution out? It is a caution out at Daytona number. Austin Dillon, Brian Scott, Kyle Busch. It's Junior and Kurt Busch side by side for the lead. So we lost the 3 and the 29. The 18 of Kyle Busch lost the pack as well, but he's starting to rejoin. Kurt Busch keeps the lead again. Ricky Stenhouse, had his best career finish at Talladega last October. Can he better that? With Daytona, they come into the Tri-Oval. 2 laps remaining in the Daytona 500. Kurt Busch and Dale Jr. Now Jr. moves high. Here comes Stenhouse to the inside. Look at Danica Patrick getting a push, looks like from Jamie McMurray, but I don't think that car is that fast. And there's David Reagan. Oh boy, this is going to really change everything as Reagan is going to hold up these guys. Now Junior, there goes Almirola. Almirola reckon this will be the race for the win. Kurt Busch and Dale Earnhardt Jr. side by side. Are they going to catch this lower 34? It's going to be whoever has the better line. Busch on the outside, Junior on the inside. Junior's going to get held up and Kurt Busch is going to win the Daytona 500. Kurt Busch with Stewart Haas Racing wins the Daytona 500. There's Paul Menard. He is junk. There's Danica Patrick having a great run. She is not going to finish the race. There's Austin Dillon involved. Almirola was the car that spun. Casey Mears is going to get a top 10, looks like. So it's going to be Kurt Busch, Dale Jr., Stenhouse, Larson, and McMurray. Kyle Busch, Newman, Mears, Almirola, and Greg Biffle. That would be your top 10. Let's go back and see what happened to 43 with Almirola. And we're not going to be able to get back under the green flag. So this was the race unless fuel's an issue, and I highly doubt that. Oh wait. Here's the thing with Brian Scott and Austin Dillon first. Stenhouse gets on the left rear corner, put on the 29 of Brian Scott. Sends him down into Austin Dillon and Kyle Busch. Trying to get to them. There's Scott and Dillon in the grass. And Dillon comes up, pounds the outside wall. I don't know what they're doing in the grass, but that's what happened to those two. No, Almirola. So there are 2 to go. Right here. Oh, Danica Patrick goes upside down. Looks like Newman is going to turn Danica up into Almirola. Yes, he does. Ryan Newman and Danica Patrick, and there's Patrick comes back up the track. Oh, look at that 10 car. Paul Menard, Newman, McMurray trying to get through all that, and he does. Luckily for Jamie McMurray, and there's Danica flipping down the track. Man. Let's go on board with the number 10 of Danica Patrick. Having such a great run and have this happen. Happened so fast. And let's go back to that finish. Here's the finish. Jenny gets holed up. So did Kyle Larson. That's why he gets Stenhouse the third spot. Kyle Larson, best career finish for Larson. He gets fourth. It's that 41 of Kurt Busch, who has probably the dominant car of the weekend, and he is going to win his first career Daytona 500 with the new team, Stewart-Haas Racing. Let's take you to the official results. We already went through the top 5. Kyle Busch, 6. Ryan Newman, Casey Mears, Adam Rowlett, and Greg Biffle. The top 10, Matt Kenseth, Jeff Gordon, Tony Stewart, AJ Allmendinger, Keselowski, Labonte, Ambrose, Vickers, Menard, and David Reagan. Danica Patrick, Austin Dillon, Brian Scott, J.J. Yeley, Casey Kane, Carl Edwards, Joe Nemechek, Jimmy Johnson, Michael McDowell, and Cole Witt, your top 30. Here are the rest of the guys who did not finish the race. But it was one guy who is really happy. It's Kurt Busch, and Dale Jr. not going to be too happy with David Reagan's. He pretty much took him out with a chance to win the race. And Kurt Busch, though, did have momentum. I believe Reagan did not hold up the 88. I'm sure Kurt Busch still would have won that race. So he lost. It really cost Kyle Larson third spot. So that is all here from the Daytona International Speedway. Speed Weeks is over. It's Kyle Larson, the winner here at Daytona. Next week now is we are off to the desert, the Phoenix International Raceway for the NASCAR NeSWAD and NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. So we'll see you there. Here comes the celebration screen for Kurt Busch, as he is your 2014 Daytona 500 champion.